And welcome back to another episode of Swagger Through the Storm. I'm Joe Stasiak, your host, a subsidiary of The Scoreboard Never Lies. I'll return to dropping those podcasts every Monday, probably in a couple weeks. Right now, I've got an overwhelming response to this podcast in terms of talking about people's plights and absorbing the hits and bouncing back. Jason Martinez on last week, talking about his plight with colorectal cancer, former colleague of mine right now, former friend of mine, current friend of mine, went to high school with him. He's Kurt Runco. Speaking of back problems, I've thought I've had it bad. My man here has certainly been and has weathered the storm, and he joins me right now from his home studio. Here he comes in three, two.
Alright.
There he is.
Here I
Curtis, how
am.
you doing, bud? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, buddy. How you can hear me?
You look fantastic. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. You look fantastic, bro. How you doing?
Um, I think a little better. I had a backslide there for a couple weeks. That's rough because you lose all this progress.
All the progress you think you've
And
gained. First, tell us a little bit.
yeah,
I haven't set it up enough that everyone knows what you've been going through.
yeah.
Three back
You're gonna
surgeries,
edit
not
all
one,
this,
not
right?
two. Three back surgeries in 2 years.
You're gonna edit all this?
I can
I just didn't know how, casually I should speak.
speak as
Um,
casually as you want, my friend.
all right. So here's my
Let it
situation.
fly.
Um, Started maybe 2014 with injections, like everyone. And in
Epidurals?
2021, I had, what's that?
Epidurals?
Yeah, yeah. And they work great, mostly L4, L5.
Okay.
Um, and they worked great, which they do. And then maybe a couple years later, you got to go back and you go back and every time they do it, apparently it erodes the disc, the cortisone. So
It's always a
between the wear and
downside,
tear
right?
and the
Yeah.
erosion, yeah, you end up with bone on bone. So, I found myself surprised to learn that I was going to be someone who needed back surgery, because I felt like I always took good care of my back. But then I came to realize later on, like if this was a movie, there would be a cut scene right here, and we'd have a montage of all the times Kurt didn't take care of his back. I did not take care of my back. I mean, there were times where I was building furniture and I'm leaning over and I'm doing something, and it's like a two-person job, but I'm so independent. I got to do it myself. And I end up hurting myself, but I'm like, I don't care. I got to push through until I get this desk built or whatever. So I hurt myself, and I had the first surgery in September of 2021, and I had three surgeries in 21 months. And, they don't like to go back in there too soon, but they had to go back in there too soon with me twice. Um, I think the first time because I took a flight 5 months into my recovery, which I thought was okay. I think I was told it was okay. And I got off the plane. It was a little puddle jumper to get to Santa Fe. And I got off there and I was a wreck. And it led to my second surgery last summer. As far as I can tell, the story of that one is that was a failure. I never had a day of feeling like, oh, that did something. It's gonna help. I'm gonna feel better. I just felt awful, and I
Told me
never
something
felt
didn't
better.
feel quite right.
Yeah. And I'm sorry in retrospect that um which is a whole topic of like learning how to care for oneself in such an intensely traumatic situation as intense chronic pain, whatever source. So I didn't know how to take care of myself. And I feel bad that this past year I just basically suffered, and I should have spoke up more for myself and said, look, guys, I know there's recovery, but I had surgery 6 months ago and I feel worse, not better. But instead, I just kind of suffered and, was going to PT. And yeah, I was making like, inches of progress trying to convince myself that I was making progress. And finally,
Did the PT people notice anything was wrong?
between the first and the second surgery, the PT person was like, I was going there for what I thought was hip problem, and she's like, "You have a back problem." And then I went, um, I'm sorry, that was how I got to the first surgery in the first place. My PT person was like, "You need to go see a back doctor. You don't have a hip problem," which was so true. But this time, no, they didn't notice anything. And like, I love my PT people, but remember, they need to have results. So they're always like looking for, did you make progress? And you're like, yeah, it's a little bit better. Like, okay,
Dunk.
you know,
Check the box.
yeah, they got to do that. So they're not really challenging you on your progress. You know. So
I'm
this
laughing because I've
June,
just
I
been
found
through
my,
that. I was through that a few months ago.
were you?
Yeah, the same kind of thing. They're like, "Oh, you look like you're making progress." Oh, really? I've been on
Yeah.
this couch for 5 months. The only time I get up and walk 5 feet is when you're here. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But
Yep.
they're nice people. I'm seeing a
Yeah.
specialist on Sunday. But anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Good luck. No, no, not at all. We're back and forth. So I find myself this June once again, like I I couldn't sit in chairs. 90-degree angle was terrible for me. Toilets were just painful because the right femoral nerve was just getting pinched somewhere.
Oh,
And that surgery didn't fix it. It made it worse, in fact. So I find myself this June, I can barely walk. I can't walk like around the corner. I could barely walk around my home. And I went to see, so I got the pain doctor, and he was like, you know what? This wasn't the surgeon. This was like the injection doctor, and the doctor who gives me my pain meds, right? The physiatrist. So he said, let's get an MRI. And it took 2 weeks for that MRI to come back. And while during those 2 weeks, I just was like going down a cliff. I was just getting worse every day. A coworker came into town. I tried to walk to a restaurant 2 blocks away. I had to pull over like every 20 feet because I was in so much intense sciatic pain, which anyone who knows about back
oh,
pain, you got your femoral nerve pain, which is bad, but that's nothing compared
nothing
to the
like it.
sciatic nerve pain. Yeah. So this June, I go and we get it takes 2 weeks. It comes back. He calls me and he says, "Hey, look, I don't see anything on there that requires surgery." I'm like, "Dude, my back is a mess. You got to be kidding me." He goes, "Nah, I think we're going to do an injection." So my scheduler is going to call you. Scheduler calls me Thursday night. Friday morning, I get a call from the surgeon. And he's like, "Hey, dude, your back's a wreck. We gotta open you up again and do it all." And I was so shocked by the whiplash of, oh, it's not that bad. It's just an injection. To, oh my God,
We got
you
to
got to
go
go back
again.
in for another one. That I was talking to him, and while I was talking, I felt an event happening in my body. So I walked outside, and after I hung up, I started like hyperventilating and I had to sit down. And so I sat on the steps outside my building and then I couldn't even sit up. And then I was on the ground. Obviously, it was like, is this a heart attack? Because the whole left side of my body had just clenched up. Um, so some people saw me, they called an ambulance, um, get me over to the ER. Turns out it was, just a panic attack, which I'd never had. I had anxiety attacks, but I never had a panic attack. So
Wow.
they gave me some Ativan, and some tizanidine, calmed me down, and I was okay. And then 3 days, 4 days after that, I was on the table for the surgery. So
Which was number
it was a
three.
real, yeah.
And so that's where we are
And
now. How
then,
did that go? Well, I saw you last Monday night. You said you were feeling better, but I've talked to you since, and it's been a little bit of a slog.
yeah, this one, this was a case of like, I thought it was going to be so bad, just terrible, because I tend to catastrophize, and it was worse. It was so much worse than I expected. Since this one they had to go into the front in via the front and the back. So they go into the front, push everything to the side, insert some bone, do some stuff, flip me over, open me up in the back, do some stuff, sew me up. So now I got incisions on the front and the back. And when you open yourself up and you push all your stuff to the side and then you bring it back, your bowels kind of get stunned and they go offline for a few days. Narcotics makes that worse.
Yeah,
So
like
they,
opioids. Opioids will back you up.
yep, they will back you up. So they had to cut my pain meds in half. So
Ugh.
I had some kind of blockage. The day before surgery, I decided to eat half a chicken cheesesteak. Don't ask me why. And that I think was stuck in me. Okay. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to the hospital. I'm gonna chicken
Might
cheesesteak.
as well enjoy it before I get in there.
Oh yeah, free plug for Del Rossi's. I love them. So I had a blockage, and I got to tell you, dude, between the cesarean scar that I have in front of me and passing that blockage in the hospital, I kind of feel like I know what it's like to have a cesarean birth.
I
Okay,
was
because
just,
that was so horrible. My poor bowels were in so much pain. So here's the horrible part: I did not sleep from 11 a.m. Wednesday when I woke up in recovery to 11 p.m. Friday night. That is 60 hours. I literally did not sleep a wink. And I was wired. It was like you come into my room to take my blood pressure at 2 in the morning. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? How are you
right,
doing?
right.
It was like I was on caffeine. Yeah, it was just the pain. Um, so we can talk about what happened in the hospital another time. It put me through
I'm
some
laughing
stuff,
because
right?
I hear all of what you're
You
saying.
know this, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, anyone who goes through something like this, at some point you find yourself at the edge of yourself and you're like, where do I go from here? How do I go from here? You know? This one, having to suffer through that in the hospital and then come home and still be on half meds, so all of July was rough, not sleeping much. It reminded me, I don't know where I heard this, the movie somewhere, where someone said something like, life will ask every measure that you have, every ounce of what you've got to give to get through some situations, everything. And when you give that, you know you're halfway there. You know? That's how it feels. And you're like, I gave it all. You can't ask any more of me. And life is like, yeah, I'm going to ask more of you.
You're only halfway there.
Yeah, that's how it feels. You're like, I've given it all, man. I don't have anything left in the tank,
Where do
but
you find the extra gear? Because like you really, I mean, people will say, "Well, you had a choice. You could have given." That's not really a choice. The only choice you have if you want to keep going is to keep going. Where'd you find that strength?
man, same place you did. Yeah, let's talk about that because anyone who's in a chronic pain situation knows that at some point, your mind's going to think about ways to get out of it. And at some point, you're going to think about euthanasia. And I did my own thought experiment on it. I kind of went inside and imagined what I would do this, do that, do the other thing. And when I got to imagining like putting the pills in my mouth, it was like a magnet, like two, my mouth and my hand were magnets repelling. And I was like, I remember saying, I was like, oh, fuck, like, oh crap, like you want to live? Like that's like deep down. I was like, there's a part of me was like, if I had imagined doing it, I think I might have been like, I'm just tired of this. I can't imagine having a surgery that's going to lead to anything better
Oh,
than what
your
I got.
life seems like hopeless. I get it.
It seemed like hope is right. So for me, I just sort of did a thought experiment, and what that revealed to me was that some part of me was like, yeah, no, not now. And I was like, oh my God, I got to go do this again.
Well, I'm glad
So,
you chose that because you're still with us, and you last week you looked better than I thought you were gonna like not looked. You looked the same as always.
yeah,
You looked like you felt
yeah.
better than I thought you were gonna feel.
No,
And yeah,
in
go ahead.
July,
Yeah.
I had what I call RPF, resting pain face. I had this
Is that like
frown,
the cousin of a
and
resting
when
bitch face?
like resting bitch face, only my I had this frown pushing my mouth down, and it was just like gutting out the pain every day. It was just putting it showed on my face that I was like, and when I tried to smile, it was uncomfortable. It was weird.
I told you I
And
was
I would
so
sit there and
uncomfortable.
massage my face.
I was like, I should have had something across my forehead. So just give me a reason. Give me a reason. Go ahead. You want to?
Yeah.
Who's next to fuck with me? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Just
You know, man.
come on. Let's go. Let's go. Who is it? You?
Yeah.
How about you? Not a good
How'd you
idea to
get
fuck
through
with
it?
you right now. Um,
Because I haven't really caught up with you. You know,
I'm here. I told you my doctor said that I fused. I don't know if I told you that. Like the bone's supposed to
yeah.
fuse. No.
Yes.
100% and I'm out of the woods. I was at -5 2 weeks ago. Minus 5, I was better off before the surgery, like because the screws are coming
Ah,
out the back of my vertebrae. He said it's kind of like
Jesus.
they're
Oh,
almost like
God.
stripped. So now I have to wear, where is it? Oh, I'm wearing it. It's just bone stimulator, and I got to wear like the dog lamp, which is like my neck brace again. I don't have it on for this, but kind of got to go back to basics. Let's put it that way. I still go to the gym, but it's very light. It's very light. And I got a shoulder operation coming up in about 3 weeks, so good
Well,
times.
you going to the gym. That's a
Yeah, that's kind of like it's kind of my own. It makes me feel a little normal.
Yep.
Although I have a tendency to
Yep.
overdo it, and I had like 3 or 4 good days, and I always do this. I'm like, I think I've turned a corner. I should write it down every time I say that because I'm like, yeah, this is great. And then
Oh,
I wake up Sunday and like I'm on my back for like 3 days. You know what I mean? I don't think that was a good idea.
right. I'm laughing because now I'm like, yes, you know that. I know that situation. In the moment, you're not getting any messages that this is terrible. And then the next day, your body's like, by the way, dude, yeah, that was horrible. I didn't tell you because I didn't want to tell you.
Yeah, I really didn't want to tell you, but
You were having a good
those
time. I just wanted to
deadlifts
leave
probably
you
not a
to
good
it.
idea. I know you were on adrenaline. I didn't want to ruin the party.
Right. Yes.
I
That's what
really
happened to
felt good.
me
Like,
for the
remember, I was
past.
off when I saw you Monday night. I was awful, and then a few days later, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is good. I was at the gym, like with Knucklehead Eric, of course.
Yeah.
So uh, I hit it hard. First time I felt like my intensity was back to normal, which hadn't been since like February. But light stuff, like I'm not going. I can't. I mean, I'm not. I don't have my strength back
Yeah.
yet, but I felt like my intensity was good until Sunday rolled around, and I'm like, I don't think I should. I can't really get off the couch. I broke a blood
Oof.
vessel in my eye, like my eye's all red. If you could,
No. Uh,
hey, it's kind of the life I lead. But he did
at
say
least you're
that.
getting there.
What's that about?
I mean, you're getting there. I'm glad. I'm a
Yeah,
little envious. I'm not at the gym part yet, but
that's all right. You don't need to be because again, I have to stop when I have the shoulder thing, so I don't even know why I'm going. But it's just
no, do it.
in the interim, I'm trying to build my body back up. Like I feel crap. I was trying to explain this the other day. For a long time, getting out of bed was like, oh fuck, I gotta wear. You ever put an outfit on that you hate and like you just
Uh,
you just look, I ran out of time. I've had 3 costume changes and I still can't get it right.
right.
But I have to go. And you got it, and your shirt doesn't match, and then you have like because it's been on a hanger for so long, it's had the shoulder points
Oh,
sticking up.
yes.
You got a stain over here. You're wearing jeans that are like skinny jeans that you thought were in, but that was like 8 months ago. It's been so long, and now like everyone's looking at you like, what are you wearing? And you have to wear that all day. That's kind of how it was every day. I got to wear this bad
That's what
outfit.
you woke up to.
Then I kind of changed the metaphor. I'm like, you know what? No, I'll give you one better. You ever get caught like in the rain before you have to go inside or you're taking stuff and you're just wet? Try wearing wet clothes 24 hours a day. That's kind of
Yeah.
that's the discomfort of wearing
Yeah.
like wet clothes.
I know. And then you get the people who are like, well, at least blah blah blah,
Yeah,
which
I,
is
I
my
wanted you to,
my
I wanted you to say that on here because you told me that. Tell me what.
this is my yeah, this is my new thing. One of the things this situation has taught me is like the fullness of every experience that we have. We always want to make things simple and one thing, but everything is like it's like holding a crystal, right? It depends on how you're holding it, which facet of it you're looking at. And I I've come to start to resent when people are like, I get this a lot. People are like, well, at least you're not this, or at least you're not that. And it's like, well, yeah, but that it's easy for you to say because now for you the experience is just this one facet of, well, he's not dead, which is enough for me to walk away from here. And you're like, yeah, but for me to be not dead, I have to put up with all of this other stuff. And so when you just say, well, at least you're this, it's like it just sort of it reveals to me we don't know how to talk to each other as human beings. We don't know how to help each other, especially in this situation. So people want to say all the
There
stuff
are a
that
lot
they
of people
think,
who
which is
don't know
like,
what to
I
say.
will,
That's correct.
yeah, I'll tell you to be positive. I'll tell you to just think about the positive stuff. And you're like, dude, I don't need you to change my mind. I just need you to hear about my suffering. I just need to hear. Someone needs to witness how hard it is for me to do this. And right, we need our pain witnessed. It's really important, and it's the suffering in isolation is the worst.
I'm glad you said that because no one really gets that. Like when they see you, like I saw you, and if I didn't know this, what you're telling me now, and I was privy to text messages and we talked before. I know what you're going through behind because you're always smiling, making me laugh and making everybody laugh, but I know what's behind those eyes. So if people don't see me for a while, hey, what's up? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. They don't know really what's going on
Right,
behind the scenes. They think you're okay. Well, I'm glad I'll just stay with that thought for a while because I don't, one, I'm too tired to explain
yeah,
it. Two, you wouldn't get it. And three, it kind of makes
right,
you, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't even feel like we're
Exactly.
even,
No, you're so right, Joe. Um it is very tough. I'm sorry you have the situation, but it's
it
kind
is
of
what it
nice for
is.
me to have
Yes,
an
I
old friend.
appreciate that. But yours is, you've had three
Yeah.
surgeries, man. I know you made a joke about me being competitive and trying to up you. No, I would, your situation sounds, every situation for every individual. I just had a guy on that has colorectal cancer. He waited 2 years with symptoms, and he's going to be okay. And I wish to work with him. He's a tremendous guy. I have another one coming on tonight, colorectal cancer that I didn't know about. Like a lot of people coming out of the woodwork with their stories. Met some females recently that have had a lot of emotional things going on in their life, deaths in the family, husbands that died suddenly, and just
Right.
like everyone's kind of got their thing. You know what I mean? Like I don't even try to say, well, mine's worse or yours is worse or um,
Yeah.
'cause everyone's got a lot going on, and it's just
No, I really am sympathetic to people who are struggling with um physical uh, situations like this in a way that I couldn't before, right? Because I didn't know. And so that's why I don't really
exactly
blame other people. Like you don't know, and I'm glad you don't know in a sense, but I wish you knew how to maybe talk to me better, which is just say like, wow, that must be hard to manage your day and to do that. And then you're like, yeah, it is hard. That's I don't need you to say like, well, at least, you
right.
know, it's not that.
Yeah, because
Um,
it doesn't really do anything for you.
where do we go with this? Like, I mean, if you have a spouse, you can go to them. But look, I'll be honest. I lost a relationship in part because of all of this. She is a natural caretaker, God bless her, and she fell into that caretaking role, and I didn't say no to that, and we both got sloppy and sort of, the lines of the relationship, and um, it was imbalanced and I got to the point of like my third surgery and she's just like she takes on my suffering. This isn't her being selfish and being I don't want to help. She's just like I'm too much of a caretaker and I take on your suffering and I see you suffering and it like makes me a mess inside and I'm working with my therapist and I just kind of need a break from your situation.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. I did not know
Yeah,
that.
I had to come home to from the hospital to a broken heart. That was not
Oh, are you
easy.
serious? I did not know that.
Hmm. Yeah.
That emotional
Um,
pain is usually worse than any physical pain. Dude, I'm really sorry.
yeah, that was a gut check. That was a gut check, July was.
That was last
Um,
month. Are you okay? That was like last month.
yeah, the silver lining for me has been, I think I mentioned this to you the other night, when you are encountered with a situation like a chronic pain or chronic health situation, it forces you to confront your relationship to pain and self-care, which
Yes.
forces you to confront your relationship to your childhood and how you were taught and all of that. And if you're someone like me who wasn't taught how to take care of himself, I mean, I was subtly reprimanded in my family. They did not want to hear Kurt's shit when I talked about I was in pain or something. It was inconvenient to them. They made me feel guilty. They told me that I was a drama queen and I was always that, always. So then I'm in pain, but now I am actually overacting the pain because I need you to realize that I actually do have pain. And then you think I'm overacting, so there's no pain. And I'm like, no, I was trying to tell you I had pain and you ignored it. So
I'm sorry
it
to hear that,
forces
bro.
you, and this has been going on for, as long as this has been going on, but especially in the past year. And I got myself a therapist and started to work through this. Um, and I found, I somehow found a way to realize that I need to take better care of myself. Um, this experience has taught me. In July, I spent a lot of time, check this out, putting the computer lid down, right? Turning the phone off and spending some time um, inside myself. And if you spend a couple of hours just looking at the walls and maybe talking, yeah, you can find some stuff. And I really got in touch with how poor Kurt wasn't taught how to really take care of himself. And this experience has taught me how. It's made me realize how serious self-care can be. Um, I was very angry at myself for taking that flight after 5 months, which I don't think I should be. I think I was told it was 3 months I could fly. So, but I held that against myself for a while, and I had to learn to forgive myself, and I had to learn
Be
to.
kind to yourself.
Here's what I learned. Here's what I learned, and I find that sometimes you got to be a little crazy to stay sane. I started to look at myself as another person, and if I treat myself in the third person, I found I could look at myself in an objective way. So I'd be like, what would be a good thing for Kurt right now? I'm like, oh, well, if Kurt was a friend of mine, I'd be like, dude, you should go up, take this, take some meds. You deserve some meds. Go do this, do that. Because sometimes I withhold the meds on myself. I'm holding out, that kind of a thing.
It is easier when you
So
put yourself outside of your, absolutely.
outside of yourself, that's what's
I go to
working
my
for me
coach and I
now.
have a problem about me. She'll be like, what would you tell a client? What would you tell a friend? I'm like, oh yeah. Well, I would
There
tell
it
them
is.
this. I would tell them this. And she's like, well, like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. I got it. Yeah.
Right. It's so hard to do for
Hard. There's
oneself.
more emotion involved, and it's kind of like it's easier to just, I guess, dole it out when you see it becomes clearer. You can be more objective when it's somebody else. So that's a great idea.
Oh,
When you pull yourself out of yourself, you can be more objective of
yeah.
your own
So
self.
it's helping me to be more compassionate to myself
You should be.
throughout all
You
of
should be
this.
kind. We should all be much kinder to ourselves. I think a lot of times we're not. Like you're telling
And
me, I hear you.
yeah, and then you have to wrestle with that at 2 in the morning when you can't sleep. And
Isn't that the worst when you're up and you just don't
right,
want to think anymore and you're getting inside your own head and you're just like, man, I wish I could shut this down.
hey, the middle of the night is some crazy ass time.
Sure. And then I'll pop three Ambiens and I'll be texting chicks I shouldn't be texting and I'll go on an apology tour the next day. And I'm like,
Oh God.
it becomes
Yeah.
worse. So,
Oh no.
but I hear you, brother. Well, listen, was good checking in with you, and we appreciate
You
certainly I
too.
telling your story and everything. And I'll be in touch with you, via
Yeah.
the
I
digital.
look forward to listening to what you got going on too. So thank you.
No, I appreciate it. You can always bounce stuff off me, and I'll be in touch. But thanks for your
Let's do that.
messages out there, and hang tough,
Yeah.
brother. It gets better.
You too, man.
Gets
You
better.
too. It gets better.
Love you, brother.
All right.
All right,
Love you,
have a good
brother.
one.
Cheers.
Appreciate it, pal. Talk to you later.
Bye.
That was Kurt Runko on Swagger Through the Storm, folks, and kind enough to let us in on what's going on with him. You got a little bit out of me. Didn't want to make this about me, but some of the stuff I didn't even know what he just revealed. So everyone's got their thing. Please feel free. Everyone, my number's out there and my email and my business website. So need to chat, contact me, please do. It's Joe at epicswagger.com or joestazak@gmail.com. Y'all know, Christ, my cell phone's out there. 610-564-7253. I have no problem people contacting me direct. So once again, appreciate you watching and swagger through the storm. Catch you next week. God bless.